Okay, hello. Um, so you just start?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. You can go ahead with however you want to lead this.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Troy Lindstrom. I'm a digital illustrator in Prince George, BC. Um, I my main creative outlet is creating art with a disability slant. Um, I do mostly portraits. I've had my first uh, exhibit in December at the Two Rivers Gallery in Prince George, BC. And a lot of my practice before was accessibility to the arts, but after, well, the summer and the COVID, and just seeing how um, people with disabilities are being left behind, uh, it really became just so we're visible. Um, so people see us, they hear us. Tonight, I'm working on a piece called I'm a Person with a Disability, um, Not a Drain on Society. It's a series of pictures, which started as really a t shirt.
Hi, Garth. This is Tracy Humphreys. I'm calling in about
And
the disability filibuster, and I just want
um, and I started with this picture. Uh, this is just it was just the how the series started. Um, and it's gone on. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with this program. And sorry, they're sending me messages. Um, so what it is, I want people to see this, the this the stigmas that they have about us. So it's going to be a series of pictures with pop culture monsters and villains in it. And it's going to be a series of 8 pictures that are in a circle around my picture. My picture will say, I am a person with a disability. And then the outside pictures will be consist of like Frankenstein, the Joker, with different sayings. The one I'm working on tonight, like I said, was um, I am. There we go. It's Nosferatu. Did that come up? Oh, yeah, sure. Um, so I do line work digitally because when I was young, I found traditional arts was just too expensive for a person with disabilities. Paints, canvases, watercolor paper. It's just something I could never afford. So I got into digital art because once you buy the program, which is $30, and I bought this program 10 years ago, um, you don't have to buy it again, and I've been using it ever since. Um, so as you can see, I have the line work on the face finished. And tonight I want to work on the female figure in the on the bottom. You can see it here. So we'll add a layer. Like I was talking about before, I was supposed to have um, my first exhibit in April, and then COVID came, so that was delayed. And the main thing I wanted to do with my exhibit was to make sure it was accessible to everyone, because I had been part of uh, an accessibility community with some friends, and it was mostly to do with gaming. Tara Walker, one of my friends, works at Microsoft in their accessibility department, and I was part of that. Um, and that's what I based my first exhibit around. It was supposed to be um, May and June at the thing, and we were going to do some accessibility day events, which we did actually get to do. Sorry, I'm not used to talking and drawing at the same time. But the exhibit itself was delayed till December. And as the year went on, and I saw that how COVID was affecting everybody, and everybody was getting help except us. I live in BC, and we did get a small um, uh, supplement to our because I'm on disability, and luckily I had a just before COVID really hit, I had gotten a grant from the Canadian Arts Council, which saved me a lot of the stress that a lot of other people had to deal with. Um, but I saw so many other people in so many other provinces that got nothing. And then I, you know, I started talking about that on Twitter because that's where I usually um, talk about my disability rights stuff I'm interested in. And then in the fall, I started to hear about Bill C7. And I kind of knew it was coming because as soon as MAID was passed years ago, I knew eventually it would be coming after us. Um, I knew, I already knew that we weren't seeing, people didn't see our, if they even saw us, didn't see that our lives had worth. And so my art really went from trying to be accessible to as many people as I could to just trying to get people to see that we were there. And with when the amendments that with Bill C7, I knew what would happen if that bill got passed. It would be doctors coercing people with disabilities to end their lives because the doctors thought their lives weren't worth living, and not letting that person figure out for themselves whether it was or not. Also, I knew once this bill gets passed, they'll use the bill itself as an excuse as not to support us, and they'll say we have options, and it's what I've always been scared of is when they start to push this assisted suicide on us. And I know there is people out there that their illness is severe, and if they can't handle it anymore, I understand that's their choice. But what I worry about is people like I live in poverty, and I'm lucky to have family that supports me. But those people that live without families to support them and don't have the support from the government they need, I just worry they'll just give up, and the government's going to make it easy for them to end their lives, and it just breaks my heart. So that's why I started doing this series. I wanted the people to see the bigotry they have towards us, and I wanted to confront them with that. So my first picture was I'm Not a Monster, and I used Frankenstein because, if you have a visible disability, there is people that will be scared to go near you. It's just like I've had people that didn't want to touch me because they thought they would get infected with what I have. My disability, um, I was affected by psoriatic arthritis in my early 20s. And before we figured out what it was, it took about 6 years. It did the damage. It fused my spine and my hands. And I do walk around like I've had people make fun of me like I was Frankenstein. Like, it doesn't bother me. It's just, it's, they can't understand why I move the way I move. And I think it disturbs them. So the second piece I did with this series was I Am Not Invisible. And I can show you that one. Yeah, I'm back. I don't have that one. This is one I just finished. I'm a person with disability, not a freak in nature. When you look different, people treat you different. It's not right, but they do. And I wanted to confront them with that. Screen share. And then I did a pretty good illustration of Jacqueline Phoenix, I think his name is, with the Joker, because I wanted to emphasize how, even with Hollywood, people with disabilities are always the villain. We're hardly ever the hero. And last month, in December, when C7 was, the debate was in full force. It was going through the Senate. It's just to see. I stopped working on this series, and I started working on a portrait of Justin Trudeau, which is on the Twitter. If you've seen my post, and I called it "Clutching at Straw Man," mixed metaphor, with people with disabilities, and you'll see my hand there with my splints on it, just clutching at his collar to get him to see us. And he just looks past us, and that's what I feel our prime minister is doing to us right now. He doesn't see us. He doesn't see our needs. He doesn't see us struggling. And I liked how that one turned out. I'm going to work on a series of photos or illustrations with that one. Eventually, I'd like to make a show with 5 installments with different aspects of how people see people with disabilities. Now, one thing I love doing, getting back to the art, is the hair. So what I'll do is I'll fill huge areas with a black. And the way I usually do my illustration is kind of like sculpting. I'll add and remove. So when I want the hair to flow, I'll put down a block of just plate black, and then I'll add the flow of the hair. Now I want the flow here to go around the fingers, like Nosferatu his fingers are flowing through her hair. One of the things is about 12 years ago, a lot of people with disabilities recognize this. This is just, you don't do anything. You're like a vegetable. I was watching TV and playing video games all day. I didn't do anything. I finally decided I wanted to do something. And I'd always loved art, but art wasn't what I chose. I chose what people would most need me for, I think. So I took an accounting course, office course, only to find out that they don't need disabled people in offices where I lived. I was told by one of the office managers who said I would be a distraction. And I did that for about a year, just trying to find work, just because on disability back then in BC, I think it was like $900 a month, or up to 1,000 maybe. Nothing you could live on. One thing about that, like, I'm not the only one that feels that you don't want to be a burden. So I was just trying my best to create a life for myself. So when I couldn't find work, I just went and I talked to one of the office managers, and that's what they told me. Any adaptive technology I needed would be a distraction, and that's why I wasn't getting hired. So I had a bout with depression again, which is nothing new for many people with disabilities. And then I moved to a new city. We moved to Prince George just for more opportunities. And again, I was hit with the I figured I needed to get work. So I tried that, and the thing I found out, it was I was looking in the wrong area. Something that I'd always loved, which was drawing, was eventually is what I had the most success with. I tried to become a graphic designer. I couldn't get hired. The old 30-pound rule, even when you're working on a computer making designs, came up a lot. Can you lift 30 pounds? And I knew it was just they didn't want me. And then so I just started drawing portraits. And that's given me purpose. I've been able to do more doing this than anything else that I've done. I'm sorry, I'm just going on here. It's hard. I have trouble talking without having somebody to talk with.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, I'm rambling a bit.
You're doing great.
Okay.
I'm really loving this. I also wanted to apologize for the mix-up with your time.
Oh, no problem.
Because this has been really nice and fantastic. It's been really great. I also do want to say that we just brought Garth in.
That's no problem. As soon as he needs to come on, just let me know. And if you need me for another hour tomorrow, the next day, I'm fine with that too.
Fantastic. We'll definitely be in touch about that stuff. Yeah, I'd say ramble for another 5 minutes with us here. That'd be really fantastic.
Okay, I will ramble on.
Thanks, Troy.
Okay. Well, I am rambling. I'll ramble on a bit more. So this is what I'm doing with my art. As a person with a disability, I want people to see us. It's hard. to get people to notice, but I've been lucky. I've had support from able-bodied people in my community that see that I have potential, and they've helped me. And there is those allies in our community, and I'm lucky to find them and have them as friends. My friend Tara, she lives in Washington State because she works for Microsoft, and she was going to come up for my exhibit, but sadly, nobody's allowed to cross the border. So that I know that there is people out there that want to be our allies. They're there for us, and they don't want us to they don't want to see us suffer either. And until the government gets around to seeing us as people, I think we're pretty much on our own. So, right through here.
Could we maybe get a last shot of this progress piece that you've been
Sure.
being
Yeah,
so generous
I
with?
still have quite a bit to do.
Yes.
Of Nosferatu, I have to put in all the shading, redo the jacket. It still has another 5 or 6 hours left in it.
It's looking fantastic already.
Yes, I'm quite happy with the line work. It'll have much more depth once I get the shading in, because it's quite flat right now.
Absolutely. I hope we can see some of that tomorrow or the next day, whenever we can get you back online here.
Go back to camera so you can see me. Yeah, that's not a problem. Whenever you guys need me to come in, I'm happy to. Just let me know.
Thank you. Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Troy, again. And we'll be passing off to Garth here if he's ready.